In this episode, Danny Jefferson and Alan Creedy sit down to talk about the new movie Another Life, inspired by Danny's book From Here to Forever. What begins as a behind-the-scenes look at how a funeral director's story made it to the big screen quickly becomes a deeper conversation about burnout, PTSD, and the emotional toll that years of service can quietly take on funeral professionals. Whether you are in funeral service or simply curious about the people who walk families through their hardest days, this conversation will challenge you to admit it's okay to feel and to start talking about what you carry.
I'm Danny Jefferson.
And I'm Alan Creedy, and we're two guys in a question.
And Alan, where were you this past Sunday?
After church, I went over to Elon College to view the launch of your new movie.
I'm not a film star, but if those of you that don't know, I had written a book, and this is not a commercial podcast, but I'm making it clear so you can understand what happened. I wrote a book several years ago. It's on Amazon. You can get it From Here to Forever. Here is spelled H-E-A-R. The book was picked up by someone who actually was one of the original people that started with FedEx.
Oh.
And that person's grandfather owned a funeral home in Virginia.
Okay.
Regardless, that person knew a screenwriter, had a friend that was a screenwriter that was visiting, took a copy of the book, ended up writing a screenplay for a movie. So the movie was picked up, and those that are in the profession that understand RMC, that's Professional Restoration Mortuary Cosmetics, and
Right.
Bernie Fountain.
Bernie Fountain, yep. Yeah.
So regardless, Dean and his part owns A&P Studios,
Okay.
Atlantic Pacific Studios.
Okay.
They got this movie through the screenplay, and they started it just before COVID hit, and it killed it. COVID, everybody went on strike, nobody was working, and it really lost momentum. And that's been, 4 years ago now?
4 years ago, yeah. But you should mention, I think, that the actor that plays you in the movie is Kevin Sorbo. He's a pretty prolific actor. I've watched several of his movies, and I like him. He's a clean actor. He does clean movies.
He was Hercules, and he
Hercules,
played
that's
Conan
right.
the Barbarian
Yep, that's
on the
right.
TV versions.
That's exactly right. But let me share with you, we tried in this podcast series to touch on the whys. And Danny, I've read your book twice, and I really enjoyed the movie. I have to tell you, I give you a lot of compliments. But there were a number of inspirational takeaways here. I knew this already, but it was very much reinforced that you're an individual that has been through a number of different setbacks to just plain adversity. And yet you always prevail. You always get through it. So there's the message of the value of persistence, of humility. It's not that you're overly aggressive. It's the fact that you just keep showing up and things come together. And that's inspirational. But it's also nice to watch a movie about a funeral director where the funeral director is characterized as a normal person. That in and of itself was inspirational. That, okay, you're a funeral director. That's part of your career. It's not that you're weird, strange, odd, or whatever. And then finally, I would say something that would help funeral directors who want to see this movie is it's okay to feel.
The thing, Alan, that I was pleased with, and I did not have too much creative license on the movie.
They took some creative license. There's some things in there that are a little exaggerated, but yeah, that's movies.
But the one thing that it would project is that we hear about funeral directors getting burnout.
Yeah.
We hear about funeral directors' long hours and the things that happen because of those long hours. And it's shown evident in the movie, and I appreciated that. And I'm really glad that it talked about that and it pointed it out. So if you're watching the movie sometime soon, I'm not exactly sure when it's going to get into theaters, but If you get a chance to see it, it's called Another Life. And I was really pleased with the way it turned out. And
I think you should be very proud, but let me take point on this burnout and what is it, the PTSD issue. We don't talk about it in funeral service. I didn't have a chance to talk to the other funeral directors that were in attending with me, but I intend to because they're all people I know. How much some of that, and it wasn't overdone by any measure, how much some of that stress and, just emotion that you experience over a career that was expressed in the movie resonated with them. I strongly suspect that. But what I really want to accomplish with my conversations with them is seeing if I can get them to open up and just talk about their own.
Exactly. And that's going to be hard to do, Alan, because as funeral directors, we think we're invincible. We've been burying these people for years and years, and all of a sudden we don't think it's ever going to hit us.
From what I got out of it is all of this stuff is cumulative. If you don't talk about it, for year 1, you're fine. Year 2, you're fine. Year 5, you're fine. Year 10, you're fine. Year 15, maybe. 20, things are starting to get to you because many, if not most of the people that I help sell their funeral home for have just reached a point where they can't take anymore.
I was pleased with the way the movie was presented. I was pleased with the response of the audience.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted so many people to thank the entire contingent of the North Carolina Funeral Directors Association was there, and there were faces in the crowd that I could see how the reflection of my life came out through Kevin Sorbo and his words.
Hey, where did you get that 1980 hearse?
That came from Jamie Bowles.
Oh, Bowles Funeral Home down in Southern Pine?
And yeah, that's where it came from. Jamie, in
Cool.
fact, if you saw the embalming room scenes, that's all Jamie's equipment. He came up with a whole van load of stuff and let the producers, because this movie was filmed in North Carolina, and he let them use it.
Started out as just a licensee out of Mortuary College. Ended up owning, I forgot count of how many funeral homes he owns. Extremely successful. Former state senator. He'd be an interesting person for us to interview.
You know what? That's a good idea. We might just do that. And if you have any questions about the book or questions about
go
the movie,
see the movie or wait for it to come out streaming, and you'll be glad you watched it.
Yep, you will, and you can do it.
And we can help.
To learn more about the book From Here to Forever, upcoming screenings or streaming of Another Life, and resources for funeral professionals, visit our website and connect with us there. Remember, you can do it, and we can help.